a man accidentally picks up animal dung in his hand and brings it close to his nose to smell it. Yes, that same strong, awful stench. But the surprising part is, he doesn't feel disgusted at all. Instead, he seems to take a strange kind of comfort in it. Then, he smears the dung all over his face and orders his companions to cover their entire bodies with it too, so they can hide their human scent. After that, they all grab their spears, crouch low to the ground, and slowly move forward. Their target, a herd of wild bison standing ahead. They had been wandering for half a month just for this hunt. Now, there was no room for even the smallest mistake. As soon as the tribe leader gives the signal, everyone charges toward the herd at once. Startled by the sudden attack, the enraged bison begin to charge back at the humans. Against such massive and powerful animals, the humans aren't just fighting with courage, but with strategy. Together, they throw their spears forward. The frightened bison change direction, and without thinking, run straight toward a dangerous cliff. One by one, like fritters dropping into hot oil, the bison start falling into the gorge. Even the ones that try to recover can't stop their momentum, but in the end, a few bison survive. They refuse to die like this and turn back in fury to attack the humans. One bison targets a thin young boy, and he's no ordinary boy. He's the leader's son. Seeing this, the leader shouts in rage and hurls his spear at the bison. The spear hits, and the animal stumbles for a moment, but doesn't stop. With bloodshot eyes and its last bit of strength, it slams into the boy, pushing him straight toward the cliff. Everyone rushes to the edge, screaming, and thank God, the boy manages to grab onto a rock and avoids falling. From above, his father shouts, "Son, don't give up!" But then, an even more terrifying sight appears. Below hangs the boy, his life balanced on a thin thread of hope. The leader immediately starts climbing down to save him, but the tribe stops him. Because he's not just a father, he's the leader of the entire tribe. He has a responsibility to fulfill. The next day, they reach the bottom of the gorge. The fallen bison provide enough meat for the whole winter. They light a fire and eat their fill. But the leader spends the entire night lying at the edge of the cliff, staring down at his son. His eyes never leave him, but the boy shows no sign of consciousness. Winter is approaching. His heart refuses, but despite being a father, he must act as a leader. Finally, with a heavy heart, he makes a grave-like mark in his son's name and leaves with the tribe. But as soon as he's gone, a vulture flies down and lands right beside the boy. It pecks him sharply with its beak, and suddenly, the boy's eyes snap open. He wakes up with a jolt, grabs the vulture and throws it away, but then he realizes the terrible situation he's in. He starts shouting for his father, again and again, but no answer comes. Now helpless, he tries to climb down, dragging his broken leg and using the other for support. He thinks he'll somehow make it down slowly, but reality isn't that easy. Before he can take another step, his grip starts slipping. For a moment, he almost falls. After that terrifying near fall, he doesn't even dare to move. All that remains are his cries of pain echoing through the valley. And then suddenly, heavy rain starts pouring from the sky, making everything even more terrifying. Below him, the water is rushing wildly, and above, the rocks have become dangerously slippery. He realizes there's no way out anymore. Left with no choice, he makes a desperate decision. Taking a deep breath just as his grip is about to give way, he turns himself around and, with all his strength, jumps straight down into the raging water. The next day, when he opens his eyes, he can hardly believe that he's still alive. But instead of relief, all he feels is pain. His leg is now even more badly injured. Dragging himself forward, he reaches a small puddle of water. There's no time to think about whether it's clean or not. He just drinks until he can't anymore. Then he spots a worm in the mud, and driven by hunger, he eats it too. Gathering some courage, he looks at his right leg and sees that it's swollen badly, turned a deep purple. He understands that if he doesn't act now, he might lose it forever. So he finds 2 stones and traps his leg between them. He takes a long moment to prepare himself, fear in his heart, tears in his eyes, and then, clenching his teeth, he gives a powerful jerk. With unimaginable pain, he manages to force the twisted bone back into place. It hurts beyond belief, but now he can at least move a little, and for him, that's enough. Holding on to a small hope, he somehow makes his way back up to the top of the cliff, but when he gets there, there's no sign of his father. Instead, at the very spot where he had fallen, he sees a pile of stones arranged like a grave. His heart breaks instantly because it's clear his father has left him behind. Overcome with anger and pain, he kicks the stone grave apart. Now imagine this. 20,000 years ago, in a wild, unforgiving land, a single Gale boy with no survival experience is completely alone. Just then, he hears the eerie howls of wolves echoing through the air. He turns and sees on a nearby hill a pack of wolves staring right at him. He knows stopping means death, so he starts running, dragging his injured leg, but there's no way 2 human legs can outrun 4. Suddenly, he spots a dry tree ahead and uses every last bit of strength to reach it, but the wolves are already too close. One of them lunges at him and grabs hold, starting to drag him away. In that instant, the boy pulls out a small knife and strikes with all his strength. The wolf yelps in pain, and using that brief moment, the boy scrambles up the tree. Night falls, and the wolves circle below, howling loudly. In the pale moonlight, the scene looks almost beautiful, but beneath that beauty lies pure danger. Somehow, the night passes. By morning, the pack of wolves is gone, but one Kyle wolf is still lying under the tree, too weak to even move. The boy uses his knife and a piece of wood to make a simple spear. Gathering his courage, he slowly walks toward the injured wolf. He raises the spear, ready to end its life. But then, he hears the wolf's painful whimper, and suddenly, something inside him softens, because he remembers, just the day before, his own people had left him behind. After thinking for a long moment, he makes a different choice. Instead of killing the wolf, he decides to save it. To stay safe, he cleverly ties the wolf's mouth shut with a rope first. Then, with great effort, he carries it to the same cave where his tribe once stayed. And from that moment, a new story begins, a bond between a human and an animal. It is said, this was the moment when humans first formed a friendship with an animal. The next day, when the boy opens his eyes, he sees the wolf staring at him, like prey. But surprisingly, he isn't afraid. Calmly, he picks up a bowl of water and walks toward it, because he wants to help. At first, the wolf bares its teeth and growls, as if warning him to stay away. But when it realizes the boy is offering water, its behavior softens slightly. To earn its trust, the boy kneels down, lowering himself to the same level. Gently, he places the bowl near its mouth. But water alone isn't enough. They both need food, and the boy doesn't know how to hunt, so he brings insects and small bugs. But look at his heart. He eats less himself and feeds more to the wolf. Remembering what his mother once taught him, he places some of the insects on the wolf's wounds to clean out the rotten flesh, and gives some for it to eat. For himself, only 1 or 2 are left, far from enough for a growing boy. Finally, driven by hunger, he makes a decision. He must learn to hunt. He spots a rabbit nearby. Holding a stone in his hand, he hesitates for a moment. But then, gathering all his courage, he throws it with full force. This time, he succeeds. As soon as the hungry wolf smells the rabbit, it suddenly becomes alert, as if ready to attack. But the boy quickly cuts a piece of raw meat and eats it himself, as if to show, "This is my hunt." The wolf lowers its head. Now it understands. This boy is not weak. Still, eating raw meat is hard for the boy. After many attempts, he finally manages to start a fire. By evening, he enjoys eating the roasted rabbit. Meanwhile, the wolf sits there hungry, watching him quietly. The boy looks at the wolf and says, "If you want to eat meat, you'll have to bow before me." And surprisingly, the wolf actually lowers its head as if it agrees. Only then does the boy give it a small piece of meat, but it's not enough. And after a while, the wolf looks at him again with hopeful eyes. A few days later, the boy's leg is almost healed. He gathers his things. Now he wants to return home. As he's about to leave, he picks up his blanket, but the wolf won't let go. They both start pulling it back and forth until finally, the boy manages to take it back. The wolf understands that he's really leaving this time, and instead of getting angry, it just looks at him with an innocent, almost pleading expression, as if saying, "Don't leave me." But the boy knows he can't take the wolf with him, so he pushes it away and starts walking toward home. Still, the wolf doesn't give up. It quietly lies down, while the boy continues on alone, unaware that the wolf is secretly following him from behind. After some distance, in an open field, the boy notices it. Angrily, he shouts, "Stop! Don't come any closer!" And surprisingly, the wolf actually stops. But as soon as the boy starts walking again, the wolf gets up and follows him once more. Now frustrated, the boy picks up a stick and throws it at the wolf. But in the very next moment, the wolf grabs the stick in its mouth and happily brings it back to him. That's when the boy realizes this isn't an ordinary chase. This wolf has become a stubborn companion he just can't get rid of. One day, they come across a group of wild boars. The hungry wolf immediately charges at them, and within moments, one of the boars is injured and cornered. But suddenly, the boar turns and slams into the boy with full force, knocking him to the ground, and the prey escapes. The wolf looks at him with what seems like a mix of frustration and disappointment, but they still need food. In the end, the wolf manages to hunt something on its own. Even though the wolf does most of the hard work, the boy decides how the food is shared. Still, the wolf never complains. All it cares about is having a full meal at night and then quietly curling up beside the boy to sleep. Every morning, it even wakes him up. Slowly, that once dangerous wolf begins to change, becoming more and more like a loyal dog. And thanks to its incredible hunting skills, the boy is now able to eat properly every single day. One day, while the two of them are resting, a black wolf approaches. The boy instantly grabs his weapon, and tension fills the air. But then his companion steps forward, calmly walks up to the black wolf, and the two seem to communicate in their own way. After a while, the black wolf disappears into the darkness with its pack. In that moment, the boy understands the truth. His companion belongs with them. The wolf turns back and looks at him, and there's something deep and unspoken in their eyes. The boy doesn't want to let him go, but he knows he has no right to stop him. So, with a heavy heart, he lets him leave. The wolf disappears into the snow, and the boy stands there alone, watching until he's gone. Now he's completely alone again. Nights become sleepless, and during the day he just keeps walking without thinking. Then suddenly, the ice beneath his feet cracks, and he falls straight into freezing water. He struggles to climb out, but the current drags him away. His strength begins to fade, and just when he's about to give up, the wolf returns after hearing his cries. From above, the wolf spots him through the ice and, without hesitation, leaps forward. Using its full weight, it starts breaking the ice. After a desperate struggle, the thick layer finally cracks, and the wolf grabs the boy's clothing and pulls him out. The boy's body trembles violently from the cold. He quickly removes his wet clothes and clings to the wolf, using its warmth to survive. From that day on, the wolf never leaves him, and the boy names him Alpha. But the dangers are far from over. The snowfall grows heavier, and soon hyenas begin chasing them. Somehow, using the storm as cover, they manage to hide inside a cave. The boy barely gets a moment to breathe when Alpha suddenly growls into the darkness. In the next instant, a shadow lunges out and attacks. It's a deadly panther. Alpha jumps in front to protect him, even though he's already weak and injured. The fight turns desperate, and it seems like Alpha won't survive. In that final moment, the boy gathers all his strength and fires an arrow, killing the panther. Silence falls for a second, but then Alpha stumbles out, badly wounded, and collapses. His condition is critical, and there's no help in this frozen wilderness. The boy's heart shatters, but he refuses to give up. He treats Alpha as best as he can and keeps moving forward. The boy walks through the storm with Alpha struggling behind him until eventually Alpha collapses in the snow. Now the boy, weak and exhausted, lifts the heavy wolf into his arms and begins the long journey home. Step by step, he moves forward. Whenever he can't go any further, he lies down in the snow, holding Alpha close, but he never gives up. Finally, through sheer determination, he reaches home. His father is shocked to see him alive, and his mother is overwhelmed with emotion, unable to speak. But the boy doesn't think about himself. He only signals for them to save Alpha first. They quickly take both of them inside, into warmth, and the healer begins treatment. After some time, the boy regains consciousness, but Alpha still doesn't move. Everyone holds their breath, until suddenly, the healer pulls out a tiny wolf pup from Alpha's body, and then more follow. Everyone is stunned. That's when the boy realizes the truth. Alpha is not just his companion, but a mother. In the end, the boy grows up to become the leader of his tribe, and as Alpha's pups grow, something incredible happens. For the first time, humans begin hunting side by side with them, marking the beginning of a bond that will change the future forever. If this story moved you, don't just scroll past it. Hit like, drop a comment with your favorite moment, and subscribe for more powerful survival stories like this, because sometimes the strongest friendships are born in the wildest, most unexpected places.